Now, I want to end this conversation by asking Oaikyo and Angeles, what are some solutions to ensure digital spaces are inclusive of girls in all their diversity? Because we know, even though we say girls and young women, different intersecting identities could have different barriers on their participation, right? Young women of color, young women with disabilities, young refugee women face these intersecting challenges and discrimination that further exclude them from digital participation. So what are some solutions for us to make sure that language, ability or disability, their nationality, their income status, their sexual orientation or gender identity does not have an effect on how they participate?
Pues yo pienso y diría que más que nada pues es dirigir con ellos, con ellas actividades pues de una manera dinámica, como saber por dónde llegar, más o menos, y tratar pues de no solo llegar y informar y los derechos son estos y estos, sino pues hacer actividades como más como juegos para que sean divertidos.
Yes, I think by providing more facilities and more information to them, because who is not live in the city life, or who is facing more actually natural disaster or anything like this, the calamities or anything this, she is not having the proper information about these programs, or if there is any information, but she or he couldn't cannot not know that whom to actually contact or anything. So I think share more information and connected with them with youth volunteers or officials like this, and obviously empowering the local level.
Thank you very much, Oaikyo. I also think that it's very important to think about this diversity in young women's groups when we think about programming for them, organizing events for them. So using the languages that these young people speak, like today we are having this conversation in English and in Spanish. So it's important to have interpretation into different languages to support the participation of everyone equally in the conversation, but also sign language interpretation if there are young people with disabilities, or closed captioning, and making sure that they have equal chances to not just listen but to also speak and express their ideas and their vision and their also concerns to others in that same platform. Also, in the first part of this conversation, we spoke about the inequality in access to digital technologies. So I think because not everyone has access to broadband and internet and laptops in their houses, we have to also think of some low-tech solutions. Can we use radio to get to those houses and those young people to have a conversation with them? Can we use online messaging apps like WhatsApp or Signal, because Zoom, Teams, this type of applications need a lot of bandwidth, lot of data, and some young people will not be able to afford it because internet is expensive, electricity is expensive, and we need to think also of the financial implications of online participation for many young women and girls who particularly come from backgrounds that are influenced by poverty and discrimination and inequalities. So we also try to employ some of these solutions in the work that we do. For an example, we try to make sign language interpretation and closed captioning in the events that we organize for young people in the UN accessible, and of course try to have our events also in all 6 UN languages, if not at least a few languages that that is possible. And then, of course, we convene something called Queer Youth Dialogues, where we dialogue with LGBTIQ young people around the world. And in these dialogues, we try to use low-tech solutions and messaging, like through Signal, for an example, to reach young people who otherwise do not have access to high bandwidth internet or high-tech digital solutions. So what I want to say is, if organizers, if institutions, if governments, if the UN have the intention and have the political will and have the financial resources, there are ways to make sure that participation of young women and girls from diverse backgrounds is ensured, and to make it a more meaningful experience for young women and girls, which will also in turn help the organizations themselves and the governments themselves become more and more inclusive, thereby also working on inclusive solutions, policies, and programs that can help young people in all their diversity. So